Know this about psychologists in Denmark. I've been a clinical psychologist for 8 years, and this is what I know. Today I want to share with you my thoughts on what I think you should know before opening up your own practice as an unlicensed psychologist. So if this is you, then here are my thoughts. I never dreamt of setting up my own practice before getting my license. I think my concerns were that I didn't have enough experience and training, and that I didn't know how to find customers. As these are the two of the main components in having a successful clinic, that is to be able to practice psychology and practice it well, and to have clients come to your business. I understand the dream of your own clinic, and I can tell you it's just as wonderful as you can imagine. What makes it wonderful for me every day are the results of my work that I see. It's fun to be able to use my skills, knowledge, and methods to educate my clients, change their mental health into the better, and say goodbye to them when they do not need me anymore. My inflow of new clients are solely based on my successes with past clients. I get more clients because I've successfully treated clients in the past that they know of. When I started, I had already worked as a psychologist for some years and felt confident in providing therapy through my many hours of supervision. I've earned my license, and I knew that this meant that I was considered able to practice by the government. One of my strengths as a practitioner is that I'm comfortable being an authority and that I hold trust in my methods. I'm able to do so because I've tested and tried and know what works and when it doesn't work. I know what I can offer and what I can't possibly offer to my clients. This minimizes my potential stress or fear relating to having the responsibility to make a real difference for people in distress who trust you. I know they can trust me. I know partly because of my experience with past work, but also because I engaged in a lot of supervision on my way of analyzing and using methods. I think it sounds very hard and stressful to have your own clinic without a license. I haven't tried it, so I of course don't know. But I find it difficult to imagine how it cannot be scary to expose yourself to sitting alone without network or someone wiser to ask and very little experience to go by. All work is important, and also your work as a psychologist is important. Therefore, it's important that you're okay. Being overwhelmed or feeling on deep water constantly is not equal to having the balance and overview that our profession demands. As our work consists of people in despair and often deep life crises, we need to be able to keep cool and collected. Therefore, setting yourself up for success also involves treating yourself with respect and making sure that your psyche is okay, that you're okay. I'll dare to guess that taking the big responsibility of treating clients without years of experience and without supervision or colleagues to ask, that you might get a bit overwhelmed or start to feel pressured. Of course, that's not to say that just because you've completed your license that you become all-knowing, but it does mean that you will have years of experience, you will have worked with different clients and forms of treatment, you will have gotten feedback on your work, and had a safety net in your supervisor to help you develop into a confident psychologist. Then, of course, there's also the practical part. If you're setting up shop without license in Denmark, you'll only be able to service clients who pay out of pocket. Private insurances or the state will only cover treatment under the care of licensed psychologists. So your clients will not be able to get their insurance to pay, nor have it pay through their taxes. This leads some unlicensed psychologists to dump their prices in order to attract customers. This is of course legal and totally up to the individual psychologist to decide their prices. But again, with the self-care eyes and you as a new psychologist, you should be sure that you set yourself up with a livable salary. As a business owner for 5 years, I know how many costs goes into managing a psychologist clinic. Other than these costs, you should also keep in mind that you should pay for your own pension, holidays, and not to forget taxes. What we charge for one session should also cover the amount of time you spent preparing for your meeting and dealing with practicals, booking, billing, and so on in your clinic. Another cost that you'll likely come by is the cost of time of supervision and specialization or training courses. Just like doctors keep up with the newest methods and research, so does psychologists, and we do this through partaking in courses, both to keep our knowledge up to date, but also to learn more. Courses tend to be expensive, and having to buy supervision hours with experienced psychologists often cost the same or more if you buy individual therapy sessions. So setting a price for your work that's able to cover your expenses and give you a salary you can live on is important. You can of course cut costs by opting out of courses and any supervision. It's not a legal requirement, but maybe a more ethical requirement towards your clients and yourself as a psychologist. Most unlicensed psychologists work in larger clinics under social services or hospitals. Here they can get supervision from more experienced psychologists for free or as a part of their salary. Here they have experienced colleagues to learn from and ask, and they usually get paid a livable salary with pension. This is one way of getting some experience under your belt and earning your license. Working for a larger clinic can also be a good way to get a lot of work and start building your name by your successes. Word to mouth is still the most used form of referrals for psychologists, and being a name can help you get clients when you start your own business. And it can save you a lot of money on Google Ads. I would never crush your dream of becoming an independent psychologist, but I will advise that you surround yourself with experienced colleagues, get supervision and training, and experience before setting up shop on your own. The license doesn't represent the final goal. Of course, it represents a milestone and gives you a great confidence boost, as it means that you're a recognized practitioner by the government. But it mostly just represents that you've done for a while what I think a good psychologist should do. Having the knowledge and experience and network to rely on is the best gift you can give yourself when you enter the difficult profession of working as an independent psychologist. I think this was all we had time for. What was your takeaway from today's video? As always, feel free to take away the information you can use, if any, and leave the rest. Hopefully you found that today's topic made sense and I didn't waste your time. Please subscribe or like this video so my channel can grow. Take care and see you for the next one.